Friends, in this session, Yearly Meeting is asked to consider the proposal of moving to a continuing yearly meeting. Adwa has already explained where you can find further information about this in the appendices and the frequently asked questions, and there will be opportunities in this afternoon's exploration sessions to put questions to members of the group. To put it briefly, what is being suggested is that Yearly Meeting continues as it does now, looking at the most important issues for our community, but it meets 3-4 times a year instead of once. That Meeting for Sufferings is merged with Yearly Meeting. That Britain Yearly Meeting trustees continue to work as they do now, concentrating on legal, financial, and compliance issues.
As might be expected from a small and varied group of long-standing members of the Society, members of the group to review yearly meeting gatherings and Meeting for Sufferings, GRYYM, brought different experiences and perspectives to this task. During the 4 years of our work together, we have taken time to listen to each other and to carefully consider the responses we have received from the various consultations we have carried out. We have wrestled with different viewpoints and deep questions throughout the timeline of our work. Our initial task, given to us by Yearly Meeting when we started our work in 2021, was to review Yearly Meeting and Yearly Meeting gathering. Feedback from friends on that first stage of our work gave us a significant challenge, noting tension and difficulty in the relationships between Meeting for Sufferings, Yearly Meeting, and GRYYM trustees. Friends asked us not to tinker at the edges, but to consider deeply what might be required. Meeting for Sufferings noted the challenge and extended our remit to review those relationships. We were not asked to review GRYYM trustees. That had most recently been done for Meeting for Sufferings in 2021. The work that we have carried out has included circulating questionnaires and consultations, including to area meetings, conducting structured interviews with staff and friends who have served or who are serving in roles to do with our central structures, as well as facilitating online information and discussion sessions. As part of our work, we have also consulted with Yearly Meetings in the United States of America, who already work within this proposed structure. They have shared with us what works well and what they are seeking to improve in their own ways of working. Those conversations have not led us to change our view on what we propose, but we note that those insights should be borne in mind if Yearly Meeting endorses this proposal. We have reported 6 times to Meeting for Sufferings. Meeting for Sufferings encouraged us to develop options for change, as did Yearly Meeting last year, when the need for change was also noted and agreed. The minute asked for changes to be spirit-led, simpler, less work, clearer, more inclusive, and to lead to better communication.
In responding to that remit, we consider that our recommendations ensure that however we structure or hold our yearly meeting, it should always be about spirit-led discernment. That is at the heart of what Yearly Meeting does. Under a continuing yearly meeting, it should be easier to ensure that there is sufficient agenda time to allow for discernment of more complex and important issues, including the ability to further explore issues which need ongoing work. Britain Yearly Meeting would have a simpler governance structure. A merger between Yearly Meeting and Meeting for Sufferings should mean less work and duplication, as one clerking team and committee structure would replace the two currently in place. A merger between Yearly Meeting and Meeting for Sufferings will give clarity over where authority lies and strengthen the oversight of trustees and central work. An increase in the number of yearly meetings held each year would be more inclusive, as it will open and extend the privilege of taking part to all who want to attend, including increased provision of programs for children and young people. Links with area meetings would be retained through appointed representatives. Increased connection between the yearly meeting and area meetings should be built up, as hopefully more friends attend yearly meeting than currently attend Meeting for Sufferings. A merger between Yearly Meeting and Meeting for Sufferings should lead to further communication across Britain Yearly Meeting. The current functions of Meeting for Sufferings would be retained. Representatives to Yearly Meeting would be expected to attend 4 meetings a year, which could take place around the country.
We acknowledge that for some friends, there is a sense of loss about this proposed change, which means that Meeting for Sufferings as we now know it would be laid down. Over the course of our work together, group members have come to recognise that amongst ourselves and amongst friends more widely, some people embrace change readily and some people are more cautious and find any change difficult. Therefore, we all need to be tender and sensitive with each other as Yearly Meeting moves forward in its discernment on this proposal. Over the last year, since Yearly Meeting asked us to look at the options for change, group members have moved to unanimity about the proposal in front of you. We are aware that meeting 4 times a year as a whole yearly meeting would be a big change, but many things will stay fundamentally the same. We will still come together in sessions for discernment and for worship, and we will still be able to build our community, or as it says in Quaker Faith and Practice 602, we will see one another's faces and open our hearts one to another in the truth of God. Friends of all ages will have the choice of how many sessions to attend each year, and those who do not come to yearly meeting will be able to hear from their area meeting representatives and other friends about what has happened.
We consider that the change we are proposing offers opportunities to improve how Britain Yearly Meeting functions in the ways outlined above. This proposal is supported by Meeting for Sufferings. In looking back at the group's work, we consider that we have done what we were asked to do. We have tried to carry out our work faithfully and diligently. Our findings are now for Yearly Meeting to discern. Quaker discernment demands that we all seek to let go of our personal inclinations and viewpoints and to respond to the light we are given, individually and corporately. Quaker Faith and Practice 823 reminds us that each generation of friends has been faced with a structure in some respects untidy. Our continual task is to ensure that our structures are in harmony with the changing tides of life in Britain Yearly Meeting.